Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box, where today I want to talk about one of my favorite vocal groups of all time, and this is the Drifters. Now, the Drifters are a group in a way, but at the same time, they're more of a kind of ensemble, like an orchestra, where members can come and go, but the overall ethos of the orchestra remains the same because of a common leader. And in this case, the leader wasn't someone who was on stage with them, but it was a producer, composer, arranger. He was a musician himself and a businessman. I think I may have said that. And this was George Treadwell, one of the great pioneers in record label management and artistic management among a black musician in the world at that time. And there have been complaints that he didn't treat the vocalists in the group as important. He saw them as expendable, but that sort of unfortunately par for the course in the music industry. But over that course, the Drifters have had some wonderful vocalists, some who actually went on to have fame in other areas. But I would say that the most famous lineup was the so-called New Drifters, who really sort of reached their peak in the early to mid 60s. And they, in that time, recorded songs that have become sort of staples of vocal music, of pop music, and that had a lot of influence on rock and roll. Some would consider the Drifters rock and roll. I would consider them more vocal rhythm and blues, but those genres were kind of adjacent. But you'll know many of the songs that they made famous at the time. There was On Broadway, which has been done by everyone since, but their version was the first that really became huge. They were actually quite good at what I would call location songs. There was On Broadway, okay, it's a street, and then they were Up on the Roof. That's a location. Maybe that roof was on a building on Broadway. Ooh, trippy. And then of course they went Under the Boardwalk, Down by the Sea. And so, they're a great location band. I mean, they should have really pursued that even further, but they were absolutely wonderful. Please Stay was another big hit that they had. And the hits at this mid 60s era just kept on coming and coming. And in various different guises, you can still see Drifters today, even though George Treadwell is no longer with us. He died quite a while ago, but his concept for the Drifters did live on. But in all of in the 50s when they began, because the Drifters as a name, the original Drifters were there right in the middle of the 50s, so they had quite a lot of longevity, albeit under different guises. But it was definitely that early to mid 60s era where they had just hit after hit, and each one's so good. Great musicians backing them, great arrangements. The whole thing was wonderfully put together by George Treadwell, and the world of music is thankful for it. So check out the Drifters from that era and any other era, and I think you'll like them a lot. As always, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.